you didn't. Okay, so as usual, we move my microphone slightly out of my eye line. Let's see. Okay, if you'd like to support what I do, you can flick me a few dollars over on Ko-Fi. If you do so on a regular basis, you get your name in the ticker, along with Zenrab7, Sadie Sapientiae, and, of course, Simon JJ. Otherwise, you go in the Morangatang folder. For God's sakes. One moment. I may possibly have a job outside of this. At least I have to apply for one anyway. Let's see. So we start where we normally start, with 6 Semper Mentalis. Oh, it would help if I had the desktop audio turned on. There we go. Also, my friggin' OBS window is wrong again today. Just a second. No, I don't want you to go up there. I just want you to be the right size. I don't know what's going on. There seems to be some conflict between my monitors. Okay, this'll do. Yep, thus always to dickheads. So today's first dickhead comes from Japan. An illegal immigrant who attacked someone in Japan gets deported. He says, "I don't want to go back." The immigration officer says, "It doesn't matter, we're taking you. You're lucky we even have a plane. We're taking you no matter what." Japan is not messing around. Yeah, base Japan. And I responded, "Honestly, many of us in the West are getting sick and tired of this sort of behavior and have been calling for remigration/deportation for quite some time, as it is the gentler option." Now we'll full screen this and check out the captions. The first thing they tell them, sit up straight. Yeah, they're not fucking around. Like they're talking to a youngster, they even rely. Somebody sit on his knees. Dear God, really? Well, if you were behaving yourself. Yeah, of course it hurts. Just sit on your fucking legs, man. I'm not going, he said. You can't talk to some people. Yep. Get it out now. Or are you sad crying won't change anything? Jesus, guys. They're just roasting the poor bastard. Oh, yes, you are. Why are you so energetic? I don't know why they didn't use the burrito, but yeah, he's going whether he wants to or not. Fucking base Japan. I fucking love Japan. It's so nice that they're on Twitter now. For everybody to see, not just searching for one particular one. Why is this non-white even in Japan? Well, yeah, throw him in the ocean. Be like Japan. Oh, are you sad? Crying won't change anything. Is he a doctor or an engineer? He's some sort of aesthetic scholar. Somalia first. Proud to be from Somalia. Okay, buddy, back to Somalia you go. Oh God, no, this is unfair. Don't send me to Somalia. Oh my God, my life is ruined. Yeah. If only that was Ilhan Omar. Heaven has strict immigration laws. Hell has open borders. Deportation is not a crime, it is the result of one. Also true. Meanwhile, in Europe, Allahu Akbar. Well, at least I'm not racist. Yeah. It do be like that. This one is absolutely hilarious. This is from Kevin Sorbo. An elderly Spanish man is asked how life is in Spain. He responds positively, and then is immediately surrounded by a group of migrants being aggressive and telling people to stop recording, threatening to call the police. Yeah, it's yeah.
Why? Put the camera down.
¿Qué te parece Lavapiés?
Un paraíso.
¿Por qué?
Porque creo que el entendimiento entre los pueblos es mucho mejor que la agresión o la pelea.
Sí, tranquilo.
Yeah, so his statement was basically it's so much better to be diverse because we can understand each other and live in peace rather than being aggressive and fighting. Meanwhile,
Creo que es importante.
¿Qué haces? Estoy entrevistándole, pues.
Yo no tengo problema de
Claro.
entrevista. Yo de Bilbao.
De Bilbao. No, estoy entrevistando personas normales del barrio.
No me interesa que esté prendiendo una entrevista. Why did you go over there and start taking our pictures there?
Why? Put the camera down.
Él me ha dado permiso.
¿Quién te le ha dado la permiso?
Vale. Vale.
Who gives
Bueno,
you the right to take
oye.
camera di là?
No, claro.
Entrevistarme a mí.
Prima di te, arrivato di là, mi stai prendendo in giro. Mi stai
Vale.
prendendo la video.
Oye, ¿cómo te llamas?
Chema Basile.
Chema.
Cancela la puta di camera che il video che l'hai
Mucho
fatto
gusto.
ora di smoke.
Hey,
these pieces of
si
shit.
tú me dejas aquí, no pasará nada.
Non passa nada, o ti chiamo puta di polizia, mi dici, non passa
Si
nada.
quieres llamar a la policía,
Claro, chiamo la puta di
puedes llamar a la policía.
Oh,
Perché? E non è obbligato.
Chao, cuídate.
Que hay mucho más bueno que malo. Lo que pasa que lo malo hace daño y se nota más.
Domani tu al giornale.
Pero creo que no es...
still thinks it's good that the diversity is happening. It's completely destroyed your homogenous high-trust society. But yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah.
Que es bueno que haya diversidad de gente y diversidad de personas.
Also, yes, I have noticed Shima's physiognomy.
¿Opinas que aquí las drogas pueden ser problemáticas? Porque si no fueran drogados, ellos no se meterían conmigo. Están drogados.
La verdad es que de drogas no entiendo. Yo no tomo drogas, no sé.
Y eres muy tranquilo por eso.
Bueno, soy muy violento también cuando me tocan los cojones. Y yo creo que está bien que tengamos discrepancias, pero
Sí.
la violencia no va a ningún lado.
Pues eso, Luis. Un vecino, un vasco ejemplar aquí.
Oh, he's fast.
Mucho gusto. Cuídate, ¿vale? Bendiciones.
Venga.
I want to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of nutters in this neighborhood, but they're not going to assault me. One, because there's tons of cameras. Two, because we have normal people here going about their day. They would be retarded to assault me.
Until their numbers are high enough to drive you out.
So I think it's a bit bullshit to say, oh my God, look at this neighborhood where there's all these drug dealers and immigrants. Europe has fallen. That's way too much of an exaggeration.
You're fucking retarded, dude. If you just said yourself, if you hadn't had the cameras, they would have beaten the shit out of you, at the very least. These suicidally empathetic fucking retards. Yeah, no, obviously the diversity is fine. It just prevents him from talking about the diversity in positive terms. Yeah. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. Aren't you going to ask? No, I know it's them. Yeah. South Africa was the test run. These people deserve it. The problem is that we must also pay the price for their stupidity. Yes, you have to bear in mind their vote matters as much as yours does. Europe is a Muslim nation. What's your name? I'll be damned. Curious. Okay, let's move on to the comments section. Give this goofy-ass jingle a go. I have to point out, one of my supporters did say they liked the jingle, so I'll keep it. Yeah. Okay, so this is from Norway. At a train station in Norway, she became very angry when her train was delayed, so she started shouting Islamic prayers and went on the tracks. What do you even call this? I have a thought. How does the witch doctor summon the train? Yeah, she's standing on the platform. Then she, well, this is fairly short. I'll let it play instead of skipping. So, I guess God didn't answer her, so she needs to get down where she can be seen more clearly from heaven. It's times like this I'm both very glad and kind of sorry I don't understand Arabic conversationally. Yeah, the only Arabic word I would use there is imshi, but, you know. Let me see. From ex-Muslim testimonies. In my country, I am forced to keep my mouth shut. Here, I'm free to talk trash about this country in hopes it changes into a country where I'm forced to keep my mouth shut. Yeah. Islam through time, yeah. I want to end it all. Well, that's obviously AI. Fully veiled Muslim woman reacts to seeing an Italian couple embracing in public. She should be on the first boat back. Dear God. Can you imagine freaking out like this if you were to hug your girlfriend or give them a kiss? Insane. A Pakistani migrant, Maulana Muhammad, caught assaulting a minor in Manchester Central Mosque. Crime was committed during Ramadan. Save your boys from these Islamists. Yeah. Yep. I don't agree that religion is legalized madness. I think there are... Now, I will point out I am an atheist, and I did, for a time, have the angry atheist aesthetic, I suppose, is the best way to put it, where I probably would have agreed with this. But clearly there are some people for whom religion is the safety, not the release valve. So, yeah. Yet again, I will state I would far prefer to live under a Christian theocracy than a Muslim one. Speaking of people who would apparently prefer to live under a Muslim theocracy, from Liz Churchill, Angela Merkel just admitted on camera she deliberately flooded Germany with third world migrants to, quote, stop the far right. You know, that thing that Spain did not too long ago where they gave a bunch of people the right to vote, even though they were illegals. Yeah. Or, you know, what some states in the U.S. are doing by preventing voter ID. Yeah. She chose to erase her own people rather than lose power. This was not a mistake. It was demographic warfare. Fucking treason is what it was, absolutely.
Ich kann Ihnen nur sagen, dass ich ja, wenn es danach geht, was die AfD möchte, auch nicht.
She was so concerned with maintaining her position and preventing the AfD from taking it away from her that she decided to demographically replace her own people. Not just, you know, things like this kind of make me want to be a bit edgy and say things like, well, maybe we shouldn't have women's suffrage. One of the things we absolutely should not have is childless people in government.
Ich erwünscht bin. Ich habe 2017 einen Wahlkampf gemacht. Dort bin ich oft gar nicht zu Wort mehr gekommen, weil ganz wenige von der AfD einfach alles niedergebrüllt haben.
No, she was mad at the AfD supporters for shutting her up. It's a good thing she wasn't taking it personally. Oh, I forgot to do a chatbot check. 1 second. And it works. Yay! I can close that and full screen that. Beautiful. Okay.
Und ich würde mir wünschen, dass Menschen mit Migrationshintergrund, die vielleicht jetzt solche Gedanken haben oder mit Migrationsgeschichte, sagen wir mal lieber, dass sie doch
So migrants, people with a migrant history or a migrant background.
auch so viel Bindung an Deutschland haben, dass sie sagen, wir tun uns mit denen zusammen, die eben nicht gemeinsame Sache mit der AfD machen.
I swear, this is the problem. Assuming incompetence over malice, this is the problem with governments in the West. They would rather bring in migrants and hope that they will integrate than surrender their position because the will of the people has turned against them.
Die Tatsache, dass wir sagen, oder ich sage, dass es mit denen keine Kooperation gibt und viele andere ja auch sagen.
There's no cooperating with the AfD. I will point something out to you, Angela. The AfD is a democratic party representing people who want them there inside your own country. They are not the Islamist party that you have brought in that will endanger actual Germans. sorry, not will, have endangered actual Germans.
Dass es das nicht gibt, die beruht ja nicht darauf, dass man jetzt einfach das nicht möchte, sondern dass die Dinge vertreten, die schlicht und ergreifend mit den Grundvorstellungen unseres Grundgesetzes nicht übereinstimmen.
You think the AfD, the Alternative for Deutschland party, doesn't represent or doesn't agree with your Constitution? Well, they're German citizens, and if German citizens don't agree with the Constitution that has been put in place over German citizens, you know what you do? You don't say, well, we'll just import people who aren't German citizens to overwhelm your vote. What you do is go, how can we fix this so that German citizens are happy with the German Constitution?
Und ich wünschte mir, dass alle zusammenhalten.
Oh, you poor blue-skying idiot. I just wish everybody got along. Can't we all just get along? Can't we give peace a chance? No, Angela, you stupid fuck. Because the desert dwellers don't care about you, never will care about you, and just want to take what you have.
Gegen diese Partei und wir uns jetzt nicht noch spalten als politische Mitte, sage ich mal, in.
This is, excuse me. This is basically what you would get if you gave short fat otaku power in Canada. You would get an effeminate idiot putting people, forcing themselves to stay in the center of politics, regardless of how the Overton window moves, and destroy the country rather than surrender their own personal ideals.
Solche, die eine Migrationsgeschichte haben und die solche keine haben, denn dann würde unser Land schwächer werden gegen die AfD.
The AfD is not a threat to Germany. They're a threat to your fucking position. Angela, listen for the click. Jesus Christ. These people. Let's have a look at some of the comments here. Disrespect to trucker. There's a lot of politicians worldwide that should be charged with treason. A lot, yes. And about 343 of them in Canada. Not including... Sorry, let's make that 344 with the Governor General. I'm sure there's probably a rank of high-level bureaucrats behind them. Yeah, we need a lot of treason. The solution for treason is hope. Wait, I think I typoed that last word. Maybe. James Magere says, an evil enemy will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. Yes. If you haven't read Sun Tzu's Art of War, I highly recommend it. I would also recommend, for contrast, things like Clausewitz and I forget who the other guy was. And, maybe Schwarzkopf. Because Schwarzkopf had a very good point. He said that, I think it was Schwarzkopf. If I'm wrong, please in the comments correct me. I believe it was him who said that war should be short and brutal and final. An evil man will burn his own nation to the ground. So the cycle repeats. Hard times create strong men create good times create white liberal women, white liberal women create hard times. Oh, we're going to come to the issue with white liberal women again in a little bit. Mass invasion of a country is an act of war. A government failing to protect a country is an act of treason. Yep. I suspect we're going to see a lot of this Sun Tzu image, or quote. The Guardian. Economists warn electing far-right Malay would spell devastation for Argentina. That's how it started. More than 100 economists, including Thomas Piketty and Jayati Ghosh, so you know who not to listen to, publish open letter ahead of country's election. How it's going. Poverty in Argentina fell the lowest since 2018 under Malay. It's almost like socialism doesn't work. Yeah, this is basically it. If you won't vote Democrat, I'll flood the country with people who will. You can put Kearney, Merkel, Starmer, whoever you want in there. If they're a liberal politician, that's exactly their opinion. They don't give a fuck as long as they maintain their position. The concept that a government exists to protect and serve the good of its own people is so far outside, so foreign to these people, because all they want is to maintain their primacy. All they want is to keep their positions. They don't give a shit about you, and because of that, they will dilute the value of your vote. Germany's migrant rape crisis spirals out of control. Yeah, I can't imagine how that happened. she does in fact have blood on her hands. When corrupt politicians start going to jail, then we can start trusting the government again. Absolutely. I'm past the point of just wanting them in prison or deported. Yeah. A German leader erasing her own people. Where have I heard that before? It's kind of funny how they reveal themselves to be the thing they supposedly hate. Yeah. Me sitting quietly watching another episode of Diversity is Our Strength. Ugh. Okay, this one. From Basil the Great, the Islamists and the LGBTQ plus people are fighting inside the Green Party. Turns out this alliance didn't last long. Can't imagine why. Yeah, let's talk about this, shall we?
Stop scrolling. This could change your life. The Green Party supports self-identifying gender laws, which means I can wake up in the morning, or Shaquille can wake up in the morning as a 6-foot man with a beard and identify as a woman.
Absolutely. For what everyone must remember, in Denton and Gorton, the Muslims that supported the Green Party did so in a vote of protest. We must understand that the Green Party's policy are way further than even the Labour Party's policy. We must have independent candidates who speak for the hymns of their people and not people who are sitting in London in fancy suits.
There are safeguarding issues as well as moral issues. Women's sports, men can compete in them. Women's spaces, toilets, men can go inside them. These are not little concerns. These are major concerns for the community and beyond. And we will continue to identify every policy of the Greens and every other party that goes against your moral and philosophical beliefs. Remember that. Stop.
So yeah, the Green Party, which was the very, very lefty party in the UK, has suddenly become the, well, let's just say, the party that flies this flag. Well, not that one. Just a second. Let's see. Back. Yeah, this one will do. Yep, the party that'll fly this flag. The green one with the, oh, well, maybe that one. With the green one with the crescent moon and star. Yeah. Let's have a look through the comments. Oh, shit. You guys haven't been seeing my browser. I apologize. So yeah, Ayatollah Khomeini met the first of the 72 virgins he's going to get. Oh, God. Yep. Not strictly related to your post, but Ahmed Yaqub is the biggest cunt in the West Midlands, and he is currently running for mayor. Of course he is. Next 3 years, Green Labour, fighting over the Muslim vote. English people, yeah, just eat your... I assume that's a curry, which, I'm sorry, it should be fish and chips. What the hell's wrong with you? You wouldn't listen to you liberals are a mere stepping stone. You were warned over and over. LGBTQ for Palestine, LGBTQ in Palestine. Yeah. The Greens are so delusional, they've repeatedly neglected the red flags. Yeah. Zach Polanski and Hannah Spencer MP bringing the positive change the UK needs yesterday in Trafalgar Square. I'm going to go vomit now. It's just a protest vote. Yeah, sure it is. Useful idiot. Yeah, there you go. This is exactly what you need to see. This is one of the great things about memery. It has the power to put across a message with very few words necessary. That didn't even need the useful idiot caption for that matter. Yep. The most confused coalition in modern history. Yeah. Yep. So it turns out 80% of Pakistanis are gay. At least this is news to Dan over there. I didn't know that, he says. Yeah, this is, nobody is straight in Pakistan.
Nobody talks about this in Pakistan. It's kind of an open secret. I believe that more than half of the Pakistan is quite gay, actually. They don't want to just say it out loud, but I guess 80% of Pakistan is gay and the remaining 20% are bisexuals. So I don't think that anybody is straight in Pakistan. They don't say this, they won't accept it, they will deny it, they will bring religion into it, they will bring culture into it, but this is an open secret. Nobody is straight in Pakistan.
Okay, remember kids, nobody is straight in Pakistan.
So I did not worry a lot about my sexuality. Like I knew that this male cousin is that male cousin.
gay incest is still, well, gay and incestuous.
This neighbor is my that neighbor, both boys. So I kind of like quite settled in my head that this is something works this way in Pakistan. What I was worried about, how do I put lipstick and not get like done loads of shit from my family for that? How do I wear jewelry? And
so now we've moved from homosexuality and incest to cross-dressing.
Dress femme and not get the beatings.
How do I dress femme and not get the beatings? You could put on a burqa. Which kind of makes you wonder what's under some burqas. Yeah. So we have come to Europe for safety. No, you can't ever prove we're actually gay. I'm convinced Pakistan actually means land of the Yas Queens in Arabic, probably. I think it just means they'll fuck anything that walks, including the goats. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did report on a gang rape of a monitor lizard not too long ago. Yeah. I'm not sure they're gay, they're just animals who'll fuck anything. Let's see. Pakistan ranks highest in gay porn consumption, per Google Trends and reports from Mother Jones and Pew Research, despite strict anti-gay laws. This aligns with the context of segregated social events. Yeah. Which country has the highest number of internet search queries for gay porn? I've heard it said that they say women are for children and boys are for pleasure. Yeah, I've heard that too. Well, if your wife is your 10-year-old cousin and all the other women are covered up in beekeeping outfits, you probably would have to turn gay after a while. Speak for yourself there, Skippy. Yeah. Considering their rate of breeding. Well, it just means they'll shag anything. So, and yeah. From Greg Wycliffe, let's recognize Sikh contributions to Canada, like when an immigration officer was murdered by a Sikh in a Vancouver courthouse. This murder was later dramatized in this film as a good thing, effectively vilifying Canadians who enforce immigration law. Yeah, this is in response to Tim Uppel pointing out that April marks Sikh Heritage Month to recognize the enduring contributions of Sikh Canadians, who have called Canada home for generations and helped shape our nation for over 120 years. Yeah, they can all fuck off too. Didger's in says, dude, they're raping dolphins over there. They suck. Well, to be fair, the dolphins might rape them back. Also, hi. Yeah, I believe dolphins are the Pakistanis of the animal world. Oh, that's mean, and I do apologize. I shouldn't say such things publicly. Yeah, so Greg points out to Tim, remember when you helped fund this film that glorifies a Sikh who murdered an immigration officer named William C. Hopkinson in a Vancouver courthouse? Yeah. My favorite thing about Indian MPs saying Indian things in the Canadian government is reflecting on all the Canadian MPs saying Canadian things in the Indian government. What do you mean nobody cares? Yeah, no, you need to care. This is the problem. Let's flick through the comments here. The Jewish-Sikh Alliance. There's a reason Jewish NHL owners are pushing Sikhs during their halftime events, or the Jewish-funded CPC props up Sikhs in many ridings. Same thing happened during the Jewish-funded GOP convention. Yeah, if you look at the leadership of the supposedly Conservative Party of Canada, it's much more like the Conservative Punjabi Party of Canada. Yeah. It's a good thing if we enforce immigration laws, we won't get organized crime from India. If we enforce immigration laws, the only organized crime we have to worry about is the native organized crime, which is mostly Montreal, apparently. At least that's the stereotype. Let's see. Karan Tour says, colonize and enslave people far away. Some people prefer freedom and escape. Send them back to their colonizers so they can be executed. Get mad when they retaliate. How about don't go to a country that doesn't want you and act like an asshole in it? More Sikhs equals more crime. Third world Khalistani. Yep. Revenge is something only a man with balls can take. I bet you'll support the rapists and murderers who are white just because they got killed by a non-white. Please feel free to tell us if those rapists and murderers who are white are in the room with us now. Speaking of anti-whiteism, from Retard Finder. It's good to see you again. Retard says Artemis 2 is going to the moon for all humanity this time because it's not all white men like Apollo. Apollo was all white men, and this time it's not.
Yeah, and they are going for all humanity this time, you know? Apollo was all white men, and this time...
Are you talking about the Air India bombing? Didger says, didn't they blow up a jet too? Yeah, the Air India. Yeah. Yeah, and no apology from anybody.
It's not, and I think that really speaks volumes for the journey that NASA has been on. And this is a much more representative crew, and you can feel emotional about that. Yeah.
Okay, so they might as well change the name of this is Sky News UK, to Blue Sky News, because holy crap is that gay. Yeah. They're really running out of distractions. No one cares about this fake-ass space trip. No, I do. I very much actually do care. But to say that we're going back to the moon when nobody is landing on it, that's a bit of a misinterpretation, misinformation even. The other major issue I have is you can't, of all the things I never would have expected to have diversity trumping merit, is a space mission. I mean, I'm very hopeful that they did in fact find the best woman and the best black they could to act as mascots on this mission. Yeah. Also, I should point out there are 2 Canadians on that mission. It's probably doomed. First black man in space. Yeah. I put this shit on everything. Al Sharpton. I'm glad he's dead, and if he's not, well, shame. Talk about tagging the video perfectly. What makes this statement even funnier. I'm not getting that joke. Because white people never did anything for humanity. No, we never have. No, we never lifted anybody out of the filth of their own civilizations and then watched them fall back into it when we left. White people, the only race you can legally discriminate against. Absolutely true. Yep. Finally, we're up next. Fuck, I'm nervous. Yeah. What's this? This time it won't be used to get Chappaquiddick out of the news cycle. Ooh. You have unlocked clown shoes. Yeah. One small step for white man, one giant leap for white mankind. Yep, this is exactly how I remember it on July 20th, 1969. Well, yeah, they just edited the video after they were done filming it in that studio in Burbank. Who wants to bet that the first person to walk on Mars is going to be a black lesbian? That's going to be a black lesbian, non-binary, body-positive, trans Hindu. Why does skin color matter so much? Because it's all they have to hold against us. If they measured by any other metric, they would realize that, well, something I can't say in Canada. Why is it always retarded leftists who are so obsessed with race? Well, because we're the real racists, of course. The conservatives, the right-wingers, the people who aren't on the left have to be the real racists because we're not concerned with race. We're concerned with character. Funny thing, that, isn't it? And behavior. Yeah. No retards. Well, sorry, you're gonna find retards. I'm not saying you're retarded, but you're retarded. I would call you a cunt, but you lack both warmth and depth. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Well, not really. From Rothamus. Amazing. White supremacy is the root of all race-related violence in the U.S. Yeah. So when a black person attacks an Asian person, the encounter is fueled perhaps by racism, but very specifically by white supremacy. Okay, bear that in mind. The next time that a black man knocks out an Asian grandma, it's actually a white man's fault. Yeah, unfucking believable. Who wrote this fucking piece of shit? Jennifer Ho. Thanks, Jennifer. With your correct name. Dirty white boys, yeah. Can't even bother with that. Whiteness and Europeanness, a danger to the EU. Yes, being European is a danger to the European Union, just like being for Germany is a danger to Angela Merkel's Germany. Yeah. 59,778 white on black violent crimes. 547,948 black on white violent crimes. Is there a source for this? Source is the Bureau of Justice Statistics National Crime Victimization Survey, 2018. Violent crime includes race, rape, or sexual assault. Okay, well, I don't need to read that. Per capita rate. White offenders, 34.9 per 100,000. Black offenders, 1,650. Jesus Christ. Black people, you need to get your own fucking shit in order before you start worrying about what the white men are doing. Lies are the left's native language. Look, son, another ignorant libtard embarrassing themselves again. Yeah. Yeah, this is quite telling. When you take white people as a fraction of the world, we are absolutely the full-on minority. We send out the most money to other countries, so we're the most generous of all the races. And, yeah. Everyone else... Oh no, the poor minorities. They're so minor, like babies. They need white people's money forever. Yeah. Heaven forbid we should actually be, self-protective. Let's see. Interracial violent crimes, 2017-2021. Asian on black, 11,850. Black on Asian, 191,970. Yeah, absolutely the white man's fault for both. Fuck. From Mr. Reply Guy. Internet Nazis are attracting followers by encouraging them to raise happy families. Those bastards. Yeah, those savages, I said. Yeah. Don't even have to check the early life. Yeah. Oh, that was actually an article. Oh, Noseberg. Jesus Christ, could you be any more on the nose? Yeah. We the people have seen the alternative. I would rather be surrounded. No, you don't have... See, it's not a binary choice. You can be surrounded by good people of your race and good people of other races if you get rid of the bad people of both. You just have to actually act in the interest of justice, law, and order. I halted baby unit terrorist with cuddles. Congratulations. Know the warning signs of a far-right extremist. 1. Full-time employment. 2. Literacy. 3. Professional or technical degree. 4. Loves his God, family, and country. 5. Common sense. Yeah. Why? That's the most genocidal plot the Nazis have ever conceived. Those monsters. Just look at these abominations. Damned happy white people. Okay, so that's the end of that shit, because I can't deal with that all the time. My friend Aiden Paladin has been... I suppose mildly attacked would be the best way to put it, but I think it's a bit more than mild, for her stance about the American involvement in Iran. This attitude of superiority, particularly when it is coming from the position of calling for aid, is why so many people around the world hate Americans. I'm American and I find it repugnant. I found it repugnant when I lived in America and tenfold now. We, as Americans, need a harsh reality check and, frankly, a bit of humbling. Cleaning up one's own house before one attempts to tell other people how to live is a good start. I do have to agree with Aiden there. If we cannot demonstrate superiority, we are not superior, and thus the attitude of superiority is unwarranted. Being global hegemon, sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth, Aiden, means providing protection and support in exchange for fealty. What protection or support does the U.S. currently offer to its European allies, our brothers? We blow up their energy infrastructure, Nord Stream, start a war of choice that causes a global supply crisis, Iran, and we demand these countries we treat as vassals pay homage to us as we insult and demean them at every turn. Yeah. This is not the historic role of the Lord. Aiden is, like myself, a monarchist, though I'm a monarcho-capitalist, slightly different. If I'm incorrect, Aiden, and you're watching this, please do correct me, but I do believe you are a traditional monarchist. This is not the historic role of the Lord. If you want to be treated as hegemon, as feudal lord, you must act as one, and that means providing safety and prosperity in return for the fealty you request, lest you get the guillotine. That's something you'd think Americans of all people should fundamentally understand. Well, too many of them are too busy screaming about no kings. Ironically, next to the Canadian who visited the U.S. to join a no kings protest. We should understand basic capitalism, fair trade of goods and services. This is an unfair trade for Europe. We should understand basic power. Power is demonstrated through action. Currently, we are not demonstrating power. We cannot demand that which we do not, let alone cannot, provide in return, and certainly not when we do so in anger, with hollow threats and open contempt. I am begging my fellow Americans to please stop acting like this. It's revolting, it's pathetic, and it is most of all weak. And this is responding to Cynthia Holt, who calls people in England and Australia, and I would assume Canada and places like that, who are refusing to take part in the Iran conflict. And, the Europeans especially are demanding that the U.S. fix the mess they made on behalf of Israel. Here. Here's my response. I've never made it a secret that I love my American siblings, and that hasn't changed. That said, we are seeing the severe split between the people and the government writ large. The situation in the Strait of Hormuz and the conflict between Iran and Israel, with USA Gov as a, one hopes less than, willing subordinate, especially now that the folly of the entire endeavor is being revealed, is damaging the US image on the world stage. What appears to be happening here, with the US having committed to a war of aggression apparently at the behest of a lesser power, and that lesser power then refusing to fully commit to see the endeavor completed, makes your home country, I'm speaking to Aiden there, look by turns weak, easily duped, and now petulant. To have created a problem for everyone else through foreign adventurism at the behest of someone else and then claim to have no part in the correction of that problem is an abrogation of responsibility that flies in the face of Western tradition. Again, the monarchic principles. Simply put, Trump, and by extension the entirety of the US government, owes the rest of the world an apology for following Israel into a fool's errand. She calls people cowards as she herself is a cowardly chicken hawk. Yeah, you're not wrong, Murthan. At least I assume that's the double D, I think, is pronounced with a TH sound in Welsh. Not 100% sure. If I'm wrong, again, comments are there. Correct me. No, the rest of the world hates America because we are better than them. Thank you for demonstrating my points so succinctly. Yeah, dead on, Aiden. Speaking of which, did I? Yeah, I did like her original post. Yeah. Let's see here. Fubar says, bitch, you left and gave up your citizenship. Fuck off, you no right to say shit. Could you use my fucking English language properly, please? I quite literally did not give up my citizenship. That would be retarded. She's not dumb enough to give that up. Come on. You will end up paying a toll both to your Muslim overlords. Both. You said both. Come on. Where's the other part of the both there, Gush? Yeah, because America needs help with getting oil out of a place it basically doesn't need. No, see, that's the thing. The Americans don't actually need help getting oil out of the Middle East. If they really wanted oil, they could come here. They could literally take it from Canada. We couldn't stop them. In fact, I'd encourage them to come and take it from Canada and give us their constitution at the same time. And we'll sort out our problems with government. Yeah. America needs help getting oil out of a place that was completely open and trading oil a month ago because it chose to start a war with that place for reasons that change by the second. Yep. Where's the fealty? Europe makes its living finding American software companies for made-up offense. Oh, for God's sakes. Okay. So we're coming to the base Japan section, and I'm starting to think maybe I should create an entire segment for base Japan, because, damn, it's so much fun. So, from Haruka Suzumori, I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce these properly. A they-them person... one moment. And yes, calling Elvis is my ringtone. Okay, folks, I have to step away for just a minute. I have to go get some stuff out of the car for my mother. She's old and she can't lift heavy things, and I am heavy thing lifter, so I will be right back. She only keeps me around to lift heavy things and look pretty anyway. Okay, sorry about that. Mom needs something, I'm going. In any case, let's see. A they-them person claims that Japan has amazing PR, and that's why everyone loves Japan. What he fails to realize is that the reason people like us is because we made a functioning, successful society, while his people still practice slavery. Dear God, these people. He's not wrong. Or she. Not sure if Haruka is a male or female name. Well, let's see what this doctor and engineer and scholar has to say.
I would just say Japan had the best PR team in the world. They had the best PR team in history. Because Japan had committed the most worst things in history, the worst atrocities ever.
One second.
I would just say Japan had the best PR team in the world. They had the best PR.
Those are the cheapest nails I have ever seen. And, yeah, I'd hate to see the state of your undercarriage.
Team in history. Because Japan had committed the most worst things in history, the worst.
Japan committed the worst atrocities ever now. Have you spoken with the Jews? Because they would disagree with you. Of course, I would disagree with both of you because, well, I know what the Holodomor was.
Atrocities ever. And everybody think that this is a global weeaboo country. No.
No. See, you don't know what the word weeaboo means either, clearly. Weeaboo is someone who is not Japanese and loves Japan.
Go back and look at the history of Japan. Japan did some fucked up ass shit.
No. I actually thoroughly enjoy reading Japanese history. What a freak. Japan is a prosperous society, a beautiful culture, and something that needs to be preserved from the likes of these, whatever it is. Yeah, that's just a nice, friendly little, what is the word, kawaii? I'm going to have to learn some Japanese, apparently. You can just make up black history. These people, black, not the gay part, are known to make up history, just completely fabricated to their advantage. We have a tweet for this when they do it. Oh, dear. Let's see what we've got here. Gross. Let's go back to Japanese culture instead of the ugly who is starved for attention. Send this thing packing on a long trip to nowhere. History is replete with national crime, and his ignoring all the other ones to point out yours is lopsided and inconsiderate and indicates a level of ignorance you don't need in your country. Yeah. The responses to the base Japanese tweets are also fucking glorious. Just have to check that I haven't missed a chat anywhere. Because white people never did anything for humanity. Yeah, you're not wrong, did you? Let's see here. Also from base Japan, Gamu0514, I'll throw you a follow. I kind of understood that X's algorithm has been changed, so more Japanese posts are now appearing in Americans' feeds, and that this is deepening cultural exchange between Japan and the US. But why is the woke crowd going crazy over it? Oh, simple. Because you folks aren't white, you're supposed to be on their side. The fact that you refuse to deal in unrealistic and dangerous demographic change games is just the icing on the cake. They hate free speech, also true. I'll tell a story. Years and years ago, the left dominated the airwaves in the US. People who believed things that were outside of mainstream lefty discourse tended to keep it to themselves rather than run the risk of being ostracized by all the correct thinking people. Then a talk show began airing on AM radio. This guy named Rush Limbaugh started saying things that no one had heard on national media in a long... Oops. Just close that again. Started saying things that no one had heard on national media in a long time. And the crazy thing was, lots of people were listening, and when people saw that other people were listening, they felt braver about sharing their opinions too. The whole echo chamber was upended, and this is what upsets the left today. They had defined what the international opinion was for the world. Trump bad, Fukushima the shame of Japan, unlimited immigration the only way to save the world. And now, when people start talking to each other outside of their control, we find out no one believes that. We care about the same things, how homes, our cultures, and foods, and how to preserve those things. It's beautiful, and it's out of their control. That's why they hate it. And I absolutely love this image. Again, kawaii. Which I think is meant to be cute and comfortable and cozy and comforting and all those sorts of things all rolled together. I'm going to have to find out. Kawaii? Is that how it's spelled? I think I misspelled that. Yeah, okay. Japanese word for cute. It's Kuai, something like that. Kawaii. Okay, I was spelling it wrong. Okay, let me grab this link and bring over. Yeah, we're doing an etymology lesson now. Or a linguistics lesson, I suppose. We'll put that there. Okay, yeah, I misspelled it to Kawaii. And it was supposed to be... Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay, kawaii, meaning cute or adorable, is a central aspect of Japanese culture that celebrates childlike innocence, charm, and simplicity. Originating from the phrase kaohayushi, meaning blushing or shamefaced, the term evolved from expressing pity or vulnerability to its modern positive connotation of cuteness by the 16th century. Kawaii culture's key aspects include: it flourished in the 70s through youth culture, particularly among schoolgirls who used cute handwriting, fashion, and speech as subtle rebellion against societal norms. The aesthetic is pastel colors, rounded shapes, big eyes, small mouths, childlike features, exemplified by Hello Kitty. So if you're wondering for a good example of kawaii, it's Hello Kitty. It influences fashions, anime, merchandise, advertising, even government, cool Japan, soft power initiatives. Variants include substyles like Gorokawa, which is creepy cute, and Yume Kawaii, dream cute, showing the culture's diversity. Let's show me an image of Gorokawa. Let's see what creepy cute is supposed to be. Japanese aesthetic blends with grotesque, gory, and horror-themed imagery. So this is the idea of Gorokawa. Okay. It's got some possibilities. The aim is not to convince, but to confuse the opponent. Lenin, yeah. From Dan Weeb. From what I gather, on the Japanese side, most of the bilinguals are leftist, so they've been able to doctor the international information fed to the largely monolingual conservatives. Now they're being bypassed, so their project is collapsing and they're angry. That's a big part of it. From Ginger Grind, who, as a member of the Ginger Supremacy, shall be followed. Though I suspect that's an AI image. Yeah, Ginger Grind AI. It's pretty much this. Why are you constantly trying to stay positive? Oops. Can I full screen that and make it larger? Not really. Okay, let's put that back where it was. And we'll just zoom in on it. Oh, well. So much for that idea. Oh, no, there it is. Here we are. And we'll zoom in a... Oop. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to open that image in a different fucking window. There we go. In a new tab here. Okay, can I zoom it back? There we go. Why are you constantly trying to stay positive when nothing matters anymore because you keep failing? You are only delaying the inevitable suffering that await you in your future by letting these failures stay. Stop being happy! Yeah, how dare you not care and be happy? They hate free speech. Let's zip down through this, see if we can find a few more memes. Texas Patriot 23 says, because they are losing their ability to divide us and cause us to fight each other. That's how they have conquered us for centuries. Now we discover that we are all on the same team against them. Yeah. It's almost like if you're a traditional nationalist, it's easy to find allies all over the world. Yeah. This one is a banger. Such a banger that Elon noticed. From Reasonable Man, we should give nuclear weapons to Japan. To which Hira2222 responds with, well, they arrived twice, but the shipping method is way too American. Next time, pack it more carefully, please. Americans introducing their new Japanese friends to MK Ultra, Epstein memes, killdozers, the Federal Reserve, and calling the ETF gay. Yep. Arrived twice. My apologies, they weren't packed correctly. Please, at least make sure it doesn't explode the moment it arrives. Japan soars to its highest temperature ever recorded, 106 degrees. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. Yeah. Japanese X dropping bangers. Yeah, definitely a banger. Yeah. And I mean, this is something that happened more or less in living memory. I mean, it's only 81 years ago, so there are probably still people alive who... are there any survivors of the Nagasaki or Hiroshima bombings? Still alive. Yes, survivors of the bombings are still alive, though their numbers are rapidly declining. As of this time last year, there were 99,130 officially certified survivors. They're called hibakusha in Japan, remaining, a figure that fell below the 100,000 mark for the first time. The average age of these survivors is now 86. Only one person confirmed to have been within 500 meters of the hypocenter in Hiroshima is still alive. He's 89 years old. Obviously, most living survivors were children at the time of the bombings and are now in their 80s or 90s, yeah. When you use video games as your main source to study history. When you're laughing at World War III memes and suddenly the sun comes out at 3 a.m., yeah. That's fucking hilarious. That's horrible. No, it's fucking hilarious. The fact that Japan is now able to laugh about this, that's great. This is the original comment. Yeah. Stop, I'm gonna pee. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay. More base Japan. Well, I did say we were going to come back to the liberal white women and Japan as a Westerner and a white man. I do apologize. But you know how to get rid of these people better than we do. You have burritos and, well, immigration police who won't put up with this shit. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to read the actual post. From Table Salt. Most of the people who showed up for an anti-racism, pro-immigration protest in Japan recently were white women. Yeah. Also, I point out they're using a red rose. Those who don't know, that tends to be an Antifa symbol. I stand against racism. Anti-immigration. That's racist. Princess, you're in fucking Japan, and you're white. Do you feel like the Japanese are discriminating against you? Yeah? Maybe you should stop whatever the fuck it is you're doing that's pissing off the Japanese. Because it's not making the rest of us very fucking happy either. I'd say deport, but we don't want them. Yeah, send them to... Well, they're probably, in favor of Palestine. Send them to Palestine. Deliver us from liberal white women. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel when someone points out, what's with all the liberal white women? When somebody asks that question. Paid protesters, how I know, they came with posters. They're too fucking broke to pay to have them printed. Were they white or No, they were white. That's not Japanese at all. Tiny hats starting again, I see. White women, who else? Deport. Check their bank accounts. Yeah, find out if they're all being paid by the same people. Pedos? It's a bit of a non sequitur. White or fellow white? Yeah, probably a few fellow whites in that crowd. Probably prostitutes for the rich Japanese businessmen and gangsters. White women and women in general are the inferior species. We used to tell them what to do and run countries. Now women vote for immigrants and brown males to make their vagina hot for 5 minutes. Except they're not. It turns out that, by and large, white women aren't dating outside their race. They want white babies. Go figure. One last thing from Japan, and then we'll move over to the response section. To all of you foreigners, it seems extremely unpleasant and vulgar, but in your countries, is this considered funny? It is not. To me, this is just... Let me say it as if I was a Japanese person. This is a shame for a display. And I'm going to turn this down because this guy shouts needlessly. What the fuck is this? Oh yeah, no, smash it into your face. I'm going to assume you're hearing music. Gross. Vulgar, yes. Disgusting, yes. Funny, fuck no. And it doesn't look like this was actually in Japan. Fortunately, it do not feed. Donut operator, hi Donut. I think we're all in agreement that's the most annoying motherfucker on the planet. Excuse me. I would like to offer the opportunity to rephrase that because, well, Johnny Somali still fucking exists. Yeah. He's an asshole. I have no idea what this even is. Maybe it's for children. Mr. Reagan. It's for the TikTok retard generation. Yeah. No, we hate this. What can men do against such reckless cringe? Give me something for the cringe and let me die. Yeah. What's this now? Okay, so this is I think it's Japanese. Apparently, we've passed on the hard R STD to our new friends in Japan. We're so sorry, Japan. Why? Yeah, he acted like Johnny Bravo and people found it funny, so he's not always annoying. Well, that's cultural appropriation, though. Sorry, it's whiteface. Yeah, shoot that guy. Rock, is this true? Everyone disliked that. It's, what is this? It's vulgar, somewhat endearing. No, I don't find it endearing at all. Hangriness leaving my body at the moment I have my food. Put your titties away. No, but Americans worship blacks. You're not American from the sound of that. Let's have a look at you, shall we? Actually, I can just close that window. You are from, California. Never mind. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the comment section segment. I will, of course, be doing more recording after this. If you'd like to help me do more of this, you can go over to my Ko-Fi and fling me a few bucks. That if you do so on a monthly basis, on a regular basis, you'll get your name in the ticker, alongside Xanarab7, Sadie Sapientia, and Simon JJ. Otherwise, if you give one time, or you are nice enough to like, chat, comment, follow, or subscribe, depending on platform, it's up to you where you spend your money. I'd prefer you spend it on Ko-Fi if you're going to spend it on me at all. That gets you into the Orangutan Gang. That's just the catch-all for everybody, because, damn, yeah. And also, if you give anonymously, I will put your, well, you'll be in the Orangutan Gang. Obviously, I won't put your name anywhere if you want to give anonymously. I'd also like to say thank you for helping me crack 60. So that's appreciated. And we'll move on now to the response section. Since this is going to be the end of a video segment, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.